Welcome to another episode of Fave from Fans, the podcast where we explore all things favorite. Today, we are not in the Plastic Microphone Studios. We are actually on location at the home of the fabulous, the bride of Loki herself, Judy D. Hi, Judy.
Hi, Jamie. Welcome.
Thank you. I love this. I actually got to see the Shelf O Loki when I came in.
The Loki bobblehead.
Yes,
the Funkos, the Unfunkos, the not new in box, all of the above.
All opened. I was a little unnerved by all of the candles and the beheaded chicken. But you know what? I'm not going to ask those things because that's you. And you're just, I'm glad to be in the house. So.
If you know what's good for you, you're not going to ask about the beheaded chicken, Jamie.
Nope, not going to do it.
Mind your business.
So today, we have gotten together here in Judy's lovely house to talk about our 5 favorite cover songs. Now, this is actually one of probably 5 lists that I started when I started the show 6 years ago. I had somebody who I was going to do the list with, and we kept saying we were going to do it and kept saying we were going to do it, and then eventually he left and moved away and we couldn't do it. So when we were talking about broken-hearted love songs?
Yes, that was our last podcast. Broken-hearted, sad love songs.
It's sad love songs. So we decided, hey, this would be a good one for Judy. So we're both of an older age, so we've heard the original songs and we've heard the remakes and then sometimes the remakes of the remakes. And so this was going to be a good list for you.
I'm happy to be able to help you get this one off of your bucket list. And I think for the first time, this is my 3rd time on the podcast. And the last 2 times, I don't believe we had any in common, but I believe that today we might. I'm looking forward to it.
It's possible. It is possible. I actually, this list was probably close to 75 songs long. There's actually a Sirius XM radio station that's just called The Covers.
No kidding.
Yes. So I would listen to that. And let me tell you, just because someone decides to make a cover doesn't mean they should make a cover. And there are a lot of them out there that I'm not going to talk about, but I am going to talk about the 7 that I found are my favorite.
Oh, I'm so glad. I have actually 8.
Of course you do.
It's only 3.
Of course you do.
Only 3 honorable mentions. Only 3. I contained myself this time.
I know. It's just maybe next time it'll just be 2. Maybe.
I don't know about that. I know that some people you allow some other people to have at least 3 honorable mentions. So it's such a difficult task to narrow these things down.
It really is.
But I do so enjoy the challenge.
All right. Well, I think if you're ready, I'm ready, that we can get in and talk about our honorable mentions. And before we do that, if you're new to the show, welcome. However you got here, we are happy that you're here. But we asked our guests to make a list of their 5 favorite whatevers. And then we give them, hopefully 2 honorable mentions, shade. And those are songs, in this case, that either just couldn't quite make the 5, or maybe for some reason they were unique or just had to be mentioned. So you have 3. Why don't we get started and you give us your honorable mentions?
I'm going to need some aloe vera for that burn, Jamie. Oof. I'm going to start off with honorable mention number 3. And I'm a rule breaker, so
yes, you are.
Actually this song is more of a remake than a cover. But it's a song that I should have probably had it on our last podcast with Broken Hearted Love Songs.
Okay.
It really sort of belongs there, but because that was so obnoxiously long, I've moved it over to covers. It is the 1995 song by Ty Herndon, What Mattered Most.
Okay.
It was his debut single, and it became the #1 on the Billboard Hot Singles chart. It's a very powerful ballad about a man who realizes too late that he paid attention to everything in his woman's life except what really mattered most, and she leaves him for that. In 2019, Ty Herndon re-released the song. He did not write the song. It is not autobiographical. He had songwriters for that. But in 2019, he re-released the song as a out and proud gay man.
Okay.
He changed the lyrics to be male-oriented.
Oh.
So he basically covered his own song.
Okay. No, I dig that. I like that.
I do like that. I was able to see Ty Herndon in the 90s. I was a bank employee, and a client was the promoter at the Plaza.
Oh, I remember the Plaza.
The Plaza on Jefferson. And I was able to get into the show. I did not get backstage to meet Ty Herndon, but the promoter got me an autographed photo, which I kept on my refrigerator for years and years, and now I have no idea where it is. But that is, I loved that song back in the 90s, and when he re-released it, I dig that song too.
Awesome. And Judy, once again, has made, her list has links to a lot of the songs. Did you find every song on here?
I sure did.
Look at that. So you'll be able to see all of those in the show notes.
Okay. Number 2 honorable mention on my list. Any list of covers would be remiss without having I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
Okay. We're not going to match on that.
We're not going to match. No. It's really in my honorable mentions because it is considered the #1 cover of all time.
Agree to disagree.
If you ask the internet.
If you ask the internet.
You have to ask the
interwebs.
She recorded the song for the 1992 movie The Bodyguard. And it is Dolly Parton's song from 1974. Dolly Parton wrote that song as she was departing the Porter Wagoner show. It was for her love for him. And he later sued her for breach of contract for leaving the show. She did write that song before she left, and Porter Wagoner got $3 million out of it.
Of course he did.
Elvis Presley was interested in recording this song, but Colonel Parker said to Dolly, "It is customary for everyone to give up 50% of their writing royalties to any song that Elvis records."
Hell no.
And Dolly Parton said, hell no. And that one single move has made her a multi-millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
The Bodyguard soundtrack is the #1 selling soundtrack of all time, and Whitney's version is the #6 selling single of all time. Dolly's earned approximately $10 million in the 90 alone just from royalties for that song.
I have actually seen an interview where someone asked her, did it bother her that people, thought of Whitney when they think of this song instead of her version? And she was like, "Oh no, honey, I take that to the bank every day."
She does.
Yeah. So one of the reasons that I disagree with you and the interwebs is because the very best version, very best cover of that is actually performed by Randy Watson's Sexual Chocolate in Coming to America.
Oh my gosh. That is a deep cut.
Yep. So just did an episode on fictional bands, and that was actually my #4.
Okay.
So
I can't wait for that episode to come
out. Okay. What's your #1 honorable mention?
#1 honorable mention is with a little help from my friends, Joe Cocker.
Yes.
I fell in love with that song when it was the theme song to the Wonder Years television show in 1988. And John Belushi did a killer impression of
Oh, yes, he did.
In 1976 on Saturday Night Live. Lennon and McCartney, I don't need to go into who they are. Lennon and McCartney wrote that song explicitly for Ringo to sing, and they wrote it in his range. The opening line had to be changed. Ringo insisted the opening line be changed. The original was, "What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you throw ripe tomatoes at me?"
Okay.
The reason they changed it is because at a concert, George Harrison mentioned something about Jelly Babies, which is the equivalent of gummy bears.
Okay.
And then from that moment on, the audience pelted them with Jelly Babies.
Oh my God.
So Ringo insisted they change it. Would you stand up and walk out on me? Because he did not want to be pelted.
That makes sense.
He did not want to be pelted with ripe tomatoes. But it, when Joe Cocker performed it, Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin fame played guitar on the track. And it was it reached number 1 in the UK.
Yeah.
1969, later performed at Woodstock. In 2021, Joe Cocker performed in 2001, Cocker's version was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, and he also sang his version for Queen Elizabeth's Golden Jubilee in 2014.
Wow.
So, those are
my...
my...
song gets around,
It gets around. So those are my 3 honorable mentions, and I can assume that you have only 2 today, Jamie?
That's right, because it's my show, and I can break the rules when I want to, but I can also follow the rules.
Well, please tell me yours.
My honorable mention number 2 is a song originally recorded by the Rolling Stones. Later on, it was redone and re-recorded, and they made an MTV video of it, and I believe Mick Jagger was in on it, and it was Beast of Burden, as recorded by Bette Midler.
No kidding.
Now, people are probably going, what? I was a child of MTV, and I'm not a huge Bette Midler fan. I mean, I can't think of one real movie that I would be like, oh, I've got to watch that movie. Down and Out in Beverly Hills was okay. But that video and the way she sings it and the way that she's like, kind of walking away and then comes back and everything. It's just such a fun and memorable video. I'm not a huge Rolling Stones fan, but this has got to be one of the songs for me.
I can't wait to look that up.
Yeah. Oh, you don't remember it?
I don't remember it.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's like she's on a small stage, like kind of in a club type deal, and I'm almost positive it was Mick Jagger that was in it too. But anyway, she had like 1 or 2 albums that weren't Broadway in the mid '80s to late '80s, and that was from one of them. So my other honorable mention number 1, was originally recorded by, guess
Dolly Parton?
Guess who?
Oh, silly.
Guess who?
Who's on first?
I got you that one.
You did get me. You absolutely got me.
And this guy came back and just took that song and blew up with it. It is one of Tina's Fave 5 guys. I am talking about Lenny Kravitz's version of American Woman.
Amen.
He just kept the same energy, but brought it into the new generation. The dude is so damn cool. I am totally within my realm of masculinity to say he's a hot guy. And if he came into town and that's what Tina, but you know what? It's okay. It's one of the 5. I'm not so worried about Harrison Ford anymore. So, but Lenny Kravitz, baby. So.
Are you referring to her hall passes?
That is her hall pass. But, okay, so I'm going to tell you, we're going to diverge here because we do this all the time. I tell this story and I love it, so it probably won't embarrass her, but maybe it will. So there's this guy, this UPS driver, who comes to their office. Handsome, African-American guy, got supposedly a great smile. And so when Tina's not there, supposedly he goes, where's Miss Tina? And I'm like, they kind of joked around with me like, hey, you better watch him. I am not worried about that guy in the least. The guy that I am worried about is this 70-something-year-old man named Mr. Buddy who shows up like once a month with fried chicken from this place in Doosan. If Tina ever goes away with someone, it's going to be Mr. Buddy. So...
That is the best story.
Yeah.
That is the best story. You better tell them to call me when she leaves with Mr. Buddy. They better swing by and pick me up.
Well, I'll tell you, one time they were kind of busy, and he brought a bucket, and she said, "I'll go and take it back to the kitchen." And she brought it back there, and she stood over and ate a piece, okay, because it's so good and it was hot and everything. And she went back up front, and Mr. Buddy was like, "Well, listen, I want you to tell me later when you have a piece." And she's like, "Oh, I just had a piece." And he's like, "What?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I just ate a piece." So that's who I'm going to do. And he brings her flowers.
Bless his heart.
Once a year, like he does this chrysanthemum or one of these plant sales, and he always brings her one. I'm like, "All right, Mr. Buddy, if I ever see Mr. Buddy, I'm going to point my finger at him and wag it." Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So, all right. So those are our honorable mentions. We are now ready to hear your number 5.
I'm ready.
Give it to me, girl.
Originally recorded by Roberta Flack in 1973.
Nope, not on my list. I know what you're going to say.
It is Killing Me Softly by the Fugees.
Tina will also agree with that.
Roberta Flack won the 1974 Grammy for Record of the Year and Best Female Pop Vocal, #1 hit in Australia and Canada.
Wow.
It is
Look at you pulling the facts out, girl.
Awesome version. But the Fugees in 1996 did it differently.
Yes, they did.
Just like you said about Lenny Kravitz. Fugees with Lauryn Hill hit #1 in 20 countries and won a 1997 Grammy for Best R&B. Roberta Flack and the Fugees would later go on and record together.
I've heard that song.
I have not heard that version. I should have looked. But as far as trivia is concerned, both of their versions of the song were placed on the Rolling Stones 500 greatest songs of all time.
Wow.
In 2021. Now, the Fugees wanted to change the lyrics. They wanted to make it anti-poverty, anti-drug. They wanted to make it more social, but the songwriters absolutely refused. So you're going to sing it the way it's written.
Exactly.
So they changed it to a pop, funk, rap, R&B. It is. I defy you not to wiggle your feet or tap your toes when that song comes on.
Okay.
I love it.
You know, if you want to throw it on now, you can definitely watch my feet. I'm wearing my rocket socks right now. They will be unmoving.
That's cool.
It's a fine song. It is. Just not my jam.
Right. So,
you know what is my jam, though?
What's that?
It's my number 5.
Tell me about it.
My number 5, and I never knew this until I started researching it. This song was originally recorded by Otis Redding. But then the fabulous godmother of soul, Miss Aretha Franklin, took it and sang Respect.
I did not know that was it, because that is her claim to fame.
Yes.
Everyone knows
that and Natural Woman.
Yes, that one too. I didn't know there was an Otis Redding version.
Otis Redding performed it first.
This is an excellent inclusion.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, you want a side story?
I do, always.
Okay, very first week of college for me. I went to a small college called Louisiana College in Pineville. I set up my big speakers and everything like I do, and I'm playing some music. And my roommate, the guy's in there, and Aretha, the Feel Like a Natural Woman comes on, and we start singing. And I start singing. He starts singing. Then this guy Johnny comes down. Anyways, long story short, pretty soon there's 6 or 7 guys all singing.
7 dudes.
I Feel Like a Natural Woman. It was just fun because it's a song that it's such a wonderful song. This one, Respect, is exactly that. Respect. She sings that song, and that's what she gets because that's what she deserves.
Oh, it commands it.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely commands respect.
Yes. So I didn't know that. My number 4, when we get to it, I'm also going to find out that it was a cover, obviously, Never knew it. So, this song that I've heard for years and years, and you're like, oh my God. That's what was so much fun about making this list.
Yes, I agree.
So, why don't we bounce back and tell me what your number 4 is?
Do you know the actress Hannah Waddingham? You may know her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may know her from Game of Thrones or from Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
There was a fundraiser for amputees in 2023 called Thunder Gong in Kansas City.
Okay.
I had not heard of that.
Me either.
Hannah Waddingham got on stage and belted out You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette.
Really?
It is phenomenal. It will knock your socks.
I will have to find that. Shout out to Scout, because we are both huge fans of hers. Her and the other tall blonde woman who was in Game of Thrones that played like the knight later on. Anyway, wow. Well, luckily we're going to have a link there.
I was going to say, you don't have to find it. She did sing she was the owner of the football team in Ted Lasso, but she does do a karaoke version of Frozen on the show. That's about the only time she sang.
Is that when she's looking in the mirror and she sees a little girl version of herself?
I'm not
I have to go back and look. But I know that she did like a Christmas special.
She did a Christmas special. She does, it's here in my notes, she does an amazing version of Oh Holy Night. It is crystal clear. It is clean. It is... Ms. Waddingham has a 4-octave range.
Yes, she does.
She's performed in London's West End.
Really?
She's performed in Broadway.
Wow.
She's musical theater. She also performed at that Thunder Gong. She performed Shallow with Ted Lasso star Jason Sudeikis.
Really?
It's better than the Gaga Cooper version.
You don't have to go too far. Sorry. Wow, that's cool.
It's only been on YouTube, for the last 5 months, and it only has 60,000 views. So I'd like to.
Well, it'll probably have 60,002 by the time everybody listens to this episode. Yeah.
60,019. But in the comment section, the vibes are very. She is loved and adored.
Oh, sure she is.
And she is loved and adored by me. And we briefly touched on You Ought to Know when we did our sad, broken-hearted love songs. Because, was that included on your list, or were you you just brought up the fact, that's it, you brought up the fact that this probably would have been a good inclusion on that list too. And I agree with you, totally.
Yeah. And that one goes more into the...
We said angry.
Yeah, the angry revenge, which, that could be a whole nother episode, the angry revenge songs. I'll find somebody to do that,
I'm waving my hand here, Jamie.
Yes, you are.
You're like right up my alley, dude. But I can't wait for you to hear this version of You Ought to Know.
Me too.
It's live. It's at a fundraiser, and she just knocks it out of the park.
Yeah. Wow.
So number 4, what's your number 4?
So my number 4, I'm going to go ahead and just start with the remake. It is a song by Sammy Kershaw, who, if you're in other parts of the world, you may not know him. He's a guy from this area. He may actually even be from Karen Crow, Broussard, Lafayette. I'm not exactly sure, but he's like a Southern boy, and he sings this really little. I don't know how you call it fun, but it's a song called Third Rate Romance. Okay, you know it?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
I love this song. So it's all about this man and a woman.
Is it the Atlanta Rhythm set? Who did the original?
The original was the Amazing Rhythm Aces.
Oh,
yeah, Amazing Rhythm Aces.
I flunked that test. I should have known that. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Had zero idea. And listening to the covers, it came up on there one day, and I was like, what? And then you go and look at it, it was like from the 70s or something. And I was like, holy crap, because I love that song. I think it's so much fun when you hear the guy and the woman, they're like, yeah, well, I've never done this, but, oh, well, I'll tell you, I'll love you if you want me to. And, and it's just like, oh, God, how abysmal for these two people, And so anyway, so it's always been on my like favorites list. It's on Spotify and stuff like that. I'm actually going to try to make a Spotify list as well to go along with this episode. So if you ever want to just like listen to just the songs without, going to YouTube and all this stuff, it'll be there. But it is Third Rate Romance, as recorded by Sammy Kershaw.
I do love the original of that one.
Yeah.
As well.
I liked it, but I've just got the Sammy ingrained in me, so it was kind of hard to give my love to that, So, all right. Well, my number 3, I am sure we're not matching on my number 3. I would bet the farm that we're not going to match. But I want to go ahead and hear what is your number 3.
Originally recorded by Toto in 1982.
Okay, can I make a guess?
You can.
Is the remake at the end of an episode of Community?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, go ahead.
It might be.
Yes.
It's Africa by Weezer.
Okay, all right.
Is that the one?
It is.
I didn't remember that.
So there is an episode where Betty White makes an appearance on Community, and Abed and Troy, they do their little thing. They're sitting there singing it, and it is friggin' hilarious. But let's talk about Weezer.
Let's talk about Weezer. Weezer came to fame in the 90s with the Buddy Holly. And it's integrated into Arnold's Drive-In from Happy Days. That's their debut video. They came to record Africa. I thought this was fascinating. They came to record Africa after a 14-year-old teen girl set up a Twitter account expressly for needing Weezer to record Africa.
That is crazy.
The teen initially only wanted to produce a funny meme, but what had happened was she heard the Toto version of Africa on an episode of Stranger Things. Every teenager in the world is watching Stranger Things. So she sets up this Twitter account, and the Weezer drummer, who's named Patrick Wilson, finally saw this Twitter page, and he responded. And that is what got the ball rolling for them to record this hit.
That's
A
crazy.
14-year-old teen girl went the power of social media.
That's right. And the power of girls. Girl power.
The video for Africa is an actual parody of Weezer's own video for Undone, the Sweater song, which is a song I never heard of. And the lead singer is replaced by none other than Weird Al Yankovic. He just gets on there. He plays the lead singer, Rivers Cuomo. And he pulls out his famous accordion, mimicking the guitar solo for that song. So that was the inspiration for Weird Al.
That's crazy.
It's the best. It is almost beat for beat. You can hardly tell. I mean, to the trained ear, yes, you can tell the difference between the Weezer, but it is almost beat for beat.
That's crazy.
And I love it. I love it so much.
All right, well, I'm going to find out the episode and I'm going to send it to you because you've got to. It's like a 30-second, but it is amazing.
Fantastic. So that's my number 3.
Okay.
Tell me what you got.
So my number 3 is the theme song to the original Spider-Man cartoon from the 60s. Okay? And it was originally recorded by Billy Van and Lori Bowen Singer. Okay? And you may have never heard it, but it goes, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can.
Everyone's heard that.
Everybody's heard that, okay? So back in the 2000s, an album came out called Saturday Morning Cereal or something like that. And it was all of these current artists who re-recorded theme songs. And the version that is on my list at number 3 is Spider-Man by the Ramones.
Oh, wow.
It is so wickedly awesome.
You get to keep the farm because I would never have guessed that in 1 million years. You got me again.
Yeah, it is such a fun song. The album, the CD, I should say, actually came, you know how they always come in with the clear case and the colored back and stuff?
Sure.
This one, it's all yellow. It's just such a unique thing. And there's a bunch of different songs on it. but by and long leaps, this is the best song on the whole album.
No kidding.
It's short. I want to say it's under like 2 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's a lot shorter on the show itself. But this was one of the Marvel attempts when they first started doing cartoons, and it was kind of that animation where they would draw, like maybe move the arm and not move the rest of the stuff, So it's really good. But I always remember watching this as a kid, and when I heard that song, I was like, that is it.
I'll say it again. I cannot wait to hear this version.
Yep.
I'll say it again.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Well,
All right.
I would like to inject a little side quest.
Okay. Ooh, all right.
Mandalorian style.
I like that,
Mandalorian
huh?
style. I do enjoy doing the research for these podcasts, the topics and whatnot. And my whole entire life, I have loved the Beatles. My whole entire life. And I took a look at some of the Beatles' more famous songs.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a slew of them. There's a ton of them. But these are my faves that are actually covers.
Okay.
So it's Twist and Shout,
Yeah.
the top notes. Rock roll music, Chuck Berry.
Wait. Okay, yes.
That's All Right, Mama, Elvis. This one was shocking. A Taste of Honey was originally done by Billy D. Williams.
Get out.
That smooth as velvet voice.
Did he have a malt 45?
I don't know, but
Colt 45? Malt
it
liquor?
was, like I said, it was smooth as
He
can
is
be.
smooth.
That'll Be the Day with Buddy Holly and the Quarrymen.
Mm-hmm.
And Please, Mr. Postman, the Marvelettes.
Oh.
Those are the top, my faves.
Give me a quarter.
Ching. Beatles covers.
Okay, so side quest to that. What are some of your, and if you have one on your list, don't share it. What are some of your favorite covers of Beatles songs?
Gosh.
I'm going to start. There's an album called I Am Sam, which is a movie. And in it, there's a version.
Sean Penn.
Yes, there's a version of Blackbird by, I think, oh God, I can't remember who that is. But it's a wonderful song. And I think I first heard it on an episode of ER. So that's one of my favorites.
At the moment, I'm drawing a complete blank. If
Okay.
you give me a few more minutes, I might come up with some, but...
Billy Preston singing Get Back from the movie Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Excellent. Well...
God, I love putting you on the spot.
I know.
It's so much fun.
Again, I'm going to need aloe for that burn. But while I was researching, I was talking to friends and family, and someone mentioned, well, you know who the cover queen is. How about if I stump you for a minute?
Okay. Let's see. The cover queen. So the person who covers the most, or the person who's been covered the most?
Covers the most.
Can I have one hint? What genre?
70s. Pop. How about if I name the songs and see if you can guess who the gal is?
Carpenter?
No.
70s wouldn't be.
Let me help you out.
Okay, help me out.
Let me help you out.
Help me out.
Blue Bayou. Roy Orbison. You're No Good.
Oh yeah, it's
Dee Dee Warwick.
not Olivia Newton-John, but
Heat
Crystal
Wave.
Gale.
No. Martha and the Vandellas.
All right, I give up. Go ahead.
Desperado, the Eagles. Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me. Warren Zevon. And It's So Easy. Buddy Holly.
It's not Olivia. It's not Juice.
It's gonna be so good when I tell you.
Go ahead, give it to me.
Miss Linda Ronstadt.
Linda Ronstadt.
That's
yes,
it. That is it.
She did a lot of covers.
And while I was discussing this with my friend, he said, well, you have to include a song by Johnny Cash. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. So then I did a little more research, and the internet, you can have Reddit, you can have YouTube, all of the internet combined thinks that these are the number one covers of all time. And we talked about I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
Right.
Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley. I don't believe I've ever heard that version. It is a Leonard Cohen song.
Yeah. See, I prefer the one from Shrek.
Me too.
Yeah, I think it's...
Nothing Compares to You, Sinead O'Connor's version of Prince.
Yeah, but it wasn't recorded originally by Prince. It was recorded by one of his groups that he makes that was called The Family.
Okay.
But he did write it, and he did later re-record it. And again, he took that to the bank every time Sinead O'Connor sang it.
And the song that my friend was referring to is Hurt by Johnny Cash, 9 Inch Nails.
Yes.
Never heard that song.
Really?
And it is overwhelmingly listed on every single... I had to listen to it.
Fantastic song.
Because once I listened to it, I believe the 9 Inch Nails version, it was with loss. Maybe some drugs were thrown in there. But Johnny's version was for his lost love, June Carter.
Yeah.
So completely different approaches to this song.
If I'm not mistaken, this was like near Johnny Cash's, the end of his career, end of his life. He recorded 4 albums, and this was on one of those albums. Oh yeah, that's a great one.
So, side quest over. Thank you for indulging me.
You're very welcome. So if you're over with that, you know where we are, huh?
We are at the penultimate choice.
Penultimate! I don't know why I love that so much. That's actually, from now on, I think, instead of us having trivia, I meant to tell you this earlier, we're going to have fun facts, as sponsored by Red Dog Terrain.
It's Red Dog Terrain.
That's Jeff. It's a joke. He was the first person to start saying fun facts.
Okay.
So he brings fun facts every time.
Well, I like to bring fun facts too.
There you go. So we're gonna carbon copy it, and I think he's gonna give me $5 every time I say it.
Oh well.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna do.
He's gonna. Yeah. Are you listening, Jeff? Did you hear what he just said?
All right. So what is your penultimate?
I just love shocking you. I just love coming up with picks that you never think would come from me, and vice versa. I'm enjoying your picks as well. Again, the strange and unusual is taking over. But in 2012, the Kennedy Center Honors honored Led Zeppelin.
Right.
What brought down the house, must have been the finale, was the Heart version of Stairway to Heaven. It is a masterpiece. I may have used that word once already tonight, but it is a masterpiece. John Bonham's son, Jason Bonham, was on drums.
Okay.
He was wearing his father's bowler hat.
Oh, wow.
It's extremely touching. Hart was actually chosen to sing the song because of Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page suggested that Hart sing the song.
Okay.
Robert Plant has stated that it was a spectacular performance that kills him every time.
Wow.
Well, you know what? Me too, Robert.
Yeah?
Me too. Fun fact. Can I say that now?
Yes, you can. It's fun fact. This is sponsored by Red Dog Terrain.
Patent pending. Trademark.
Trademark.
Robert Plant has stated that he will never, ever, never, ever, never, ever reunite with the surviving members of the band.
Yeah.
Because there's no amount of money. This is a direct quote. There's no amount of money worth having to sing Stairway to Heaven like you mean it, night after night after night. He's expressed this over and over again for more than 30 years, and I just think that's amazing.
That's really funny.
But at this performance, the surviving members, Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, were visibly moved when they heard the Heart version. They were visibly moved, tears to their eyes.
Yeah.
Plant wrote the lyrics after Jimmy Page played the iconic opening guitar riff. That opening guitar riff has to be on every list of instantly recognizable, name that tune.
Yeah.
I love the opening to Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
But to hear Nan and Nancy Wilson do it, it was mostly written about a woman getting everything she wants in life without giving anything in return. Therefore, she had no entry, no stairway to heaven.
Yeah.
Plant says, depending on the day, you can basically interpret it any way you want.
They were probably stoned most of the time anyway.
They were probably so stoned. But I could watch that video over and over, and I have over and over and over, just to hear the Wilson sisters.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Giving it their all.
They are phenomenal.
And to watch the members of Led Zeppelin, watch them perform this song.
So you like to watch them watching them.
I do. A little weird.
A little weird.
Yep.
A little weird.
So, what are your thoughts on Stairway to Heaven?
I love the song. You can't play it at Guitar Center. There's signs that say you can't.
That's funny.
No, not really. But if you saw Wayne's World, there is one.
I'm sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a phenomenal song. It's not my favorite Led Zeppelin song, but it is definitely a classic and instantly recognizable. What is my favorite Led Zeppelin song, you may ask? Over the Hills and Far Away. It's one of those songs, so many of Led Zeppelin songs have nothing to do with their title.
Agreed.
But this one does, you know.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
It's just like the Immigrant song we talked about. That is running through the soundtrack of Loki.
Yeah.
Not Loki, I'm sorry. Thor Ragnarok. It was in our Loki podcast.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew what you meant.
Penultimate.
For me, okay, it's going to be a song, and let me tell you, okay, I love me some Queen. Freddie Mercury, as we all know, had a mouth on him unlike anybody else's in the world.
Quite literally.
Literally, yes. Literally had a mouth that allowed him to sing almost unreachable tones that other people could never do. So for there to be a Queen remake on my list, then that song has to be pretty amazing. Now this is going to surprise you.
I'm ready.
Okay. I am talking about the version of Somebody to Love as sung by Anne Hathaway in Ella Enchanted.
No kidding.
I will say right away that one of the reasons I love this song so much is because of the quote-unquote music video of the performance in the movie. It's amazing. If you've never seen Ella Enchanted, it's about a young girl, newborn, who has her fairy godmother who is a drunk and doesn't know what so she gives her the gift of obedience so she'll stop crying. And then as she grows up, anytime anyone tells her to do something, she has to do it. So she goes, as a woman, she goes on a quest to have the wish taken away. And along the way, she shows up, she meets an elf, who elves are all about entertaining, but this guy wants to be a lawyer. And they end up in the land of the giants, including Elle Macpherson. And so for them to leave, they want the elf to perform. And instead, they say, well, why don't you sing a song then? And then she breaks into Somebody to Love. And throughout the song, there will be people, giants, yelling things like, give it a little more soul, or, pick up the speed, and she has to do it. But Anne Hathaway, and after I saw it, I went and looked it up, and I was like, okay, who was that really singing it? It's Anne Hathaway. So I know it's weird. I know it's different. It's unique. Again, it's one of those songs that's on my favorites, my Spotify favorite, which is like 800 something songs by now. And I just love it every time it comes up. Because when it starts, she's kind of like, and then starts to do it again, and it's just wonderful, wonderful song. So it is Somebody to Love as performed by Anne Hathaway.
I think Anne Hathaway won her Oscar for Les Miserables, portraying Fantine.
Yes. Okay.
Singing that famous I Dreamed a Dream. And I didn't realize Anne Hathaway had such range.
Yeah.
And that particular year, for the Oscars, the cast of the movie starring Hugh Jackman, he played Jean Valjean, they came out on stage.
That's pronounced Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay. They came out on stage and they sang One Day More, which is a huge production in Les Miserables. I didn't know she could sing.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Ella Enchanted, but don't remember this part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's going to warrant a rewatch.
Yeah. It's a fun little movie. I really enjoy it. And okay, I'm gonna put it on record right now before we go any further. Ella Enchanted, the sequel. Okay? Spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, she gets the prince, they come together, she's now a queen, he's now the king. Fade in to the birth of her child. Okay? And I think it's Vivica Fox, actually, who's the godmother, because Minnie Driver is her, real fairy godmother. So I'm thinking that Vivica Fox shows up again to make up for what she does and gives her the gift of independence. Okay?
Rather than obedience.
And so that causes her to do all kinds of things. And instead of having to go for a quest, there's got to be some other story. Not even necessarily about her finding her prince, because we all know that's been done to death. But maybe as a young woman, like a teenager, she leads a rebellion, or she lives through a snowstorm. I don't know. But I always thought it would be kind of a cool sequel.
You can tell I'm talking to a girl dad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got no songs from Twilight, though. I'll tell you that right now.
There are no songs from Twilight. That is my secret guilty pleasure.
Really?
Twilight.
Oh, God.
Secret guilty
all of
pleasure.
them?
All of them.
Oh, geez.
I was always Team Jacob, never Team Edward.
Yeah, well.
But Robert Pattinson is one of those individuals who is not classically good looking, although
right.
I do find him pretty cute.
Well, that's
Just
okay.
not classically good.
Have you watched The Batman?
And I can't make myself sit through The Batman.
He's good in that. Yeah.
So I've been told. It's a little too dark for me.
Oh, it's dark.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
They need to light that studio a little better.
Yeah. Well, all right. We have gone through and not had one crossover yet. So we're down to number one. I am positive that we're not going to have any crossovers in this one either. Because there's no way that you have the same number one as I do.
Yeah.
But
I'm beginning to feel that way.
Let's be sure, and please reveal unto us, all 23 listeners and half the country of Hungary, what is your favorite cover song?
My favorite cover song is relatively new. Well, it's been out for 10 years. It's not that new. 2015's The Sound of Silence by Disturbed.
Oh, yeah, that's a good version.
It's an excellent version.
Yes. Gotta correct me. Come on.
Simon and Garfunkel, 1964, was on their debut album. Written in Paul Simon's bathroom with the lights out.
Okay, then.
Some say it's in response to the JFK assassination, but others suggest that Art Garfunkel had a friend who was blind and he called him Darkness. Either way...
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Either way, it was original, very folksy, but later remixed for more commercial appeal. It's one of the top 4 selling songs. Now, I can use that. I can say top.
Yes, you can in this instance.
In this instance. One of the top 4 selling songs for Simon and Garfunkel, which was Bridge Over Troubled Water, Mrs. Robinson, and The Boxer were the other 3. Paul Simon himself gave his stamp of approval for this Disturbed cover. The Disturbed lead singer's name is David Draiman, and I've never heard of him before this. Mm-mm. He searched for a song to cover. They were looking for 80s and 90s hits, including some Genesis, some Tears for Fears, some U2. Really wanted to go upbeat, but they went more acoustic and deep for their cover of The Sound of Silence. During their live performances, they report that many of their audience members are in tears. It has surpassed 1 billion views
Wow.
on YouTube. And it has been streamed over 895 million times on Spotify.
Wow.
They have a hit.
Almost as much as I have.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, almost.
They have a hit on their
No
hand.
kidding.
It's so different. It's so unique. It's so dark. His voice is rich and pure and strong and angry. And it's mesmerizing for some reason. I can't explain it. It's just, it's another one of those videos I could just sit and watch over and over and over again.
That is amazing.
And while I was doing the research, I was listening to the original Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. And the harmony part I found very unusual, Art Garfunkel's harmony. It basically sounds like he's singing one note almost throughout the entire song. And it's very radio friendly. It's very hip and poppy for its day. But if you should happen to come across the Simon and Garfunkel version, pay attention to the harmony.
I will, because I have
works.
that song. Yeah.
It actually works.
Yeah.
But I thought, wow, he is singing one note. And how did they make that work? That's magic.
They were a magical duo.
So I would like to know now, because the anticipation is killing me, what your ultimate number one fave cover song is.
Okay, so my fave cover song probably holds one of the world's records for greatest length between original version and new version.
Oh, that is interesting.
Okay?
That is intriguing.
So the original version of this song has been tracked to possibly originating from a ballad about the highwayman named Patrick Fleming that dates back over 400 years.
Wow.
Okay? That song is called Whiskey in the Jar. And it is performed by the Irish group Thin Lizzy.
Oh, I know Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy. Okay, yeah, they're spoken
boys are back in town.
Boys are back. Yeah, exactly. This was actually a B-side to a release that when it came out, it topped the Irish charts for 17 weeks and became a number 10 hit in the UK. If you listen to it, you know the beginning. It's a very unique beginning. The Thin Lizzy guitarist Eric Bell, he created that after hearing a bagpipe version of it. So it's a wonderful, wonderful song. I love it. But that song was released in 1967 by the Dubliners. Okay? So they are the ones who kind of gave it the version that you are familiar with. Okay? Now, I love the Thin Lizzy version, but my number one all-time favorite is from 1998 as performed by Metallica.
No way.
And I probably couldn't name 5 songs that Metallica sings. I love them. I think they're great. They're just, kind of not in my wheelhouse. But when I heard this song, man, I loved it.
Is it folksy? Is it rocky?
No, it is rock. It is hard rock.
Raunchy.
But it's done in such a way, like for example, there's some lyrics in it about this guy, who goes to Miss Molly's room, and I took all of his money. Yeah, I brought it home to Molly. She swore that she loved me. No, never would she leave me. But the devil take that woman. Yeah, for she tricked me. And tricked me easy. And when you hear the lead singer from Metallica, he has just captured this anger in his voice. Like he was this highwayman who had gone through the Cork and Kerry mountains and had produced his pistol and his rapier, and he stole the money, and he finally had the money, and he was going to go to the love of his life, and turned out, just like every other one of you women, she was horrible.
Hey, watch it.
Hey.
Take it easy there, fella.
But that's got to be my all-time favorite. I listen to that song way more. Now, I love me some Thin Lizzy. Don't get me wrong. Those dudes, they're awesome. But this is going to be my favorite.
I'm really impressed.
Are you?
I am.
Yeah, surprised you on that one, huh?
Yeah. As we speak, I am looking up this song. Looking it up and looking at the lyrics.
And it's got a cool video to go along with it, too. It's like a performance video, but maybe performed in a studio type deal.
Do you know how they were able to date the song back to the 1600s?
Well, because of the way that they're talking about the certain people in there, they think it was based on this highwayman, a guy who would rob people.
Okay.
And so originally it was a ballad about him, and so it's been handed down. And then the Dubliners are the ones who took kind of that folksy version of it and turned it into the song, like the song that you're kind of going to be familiar with if you've ever heard this by either Thin Lizzy or by Metallica.
Mm-mm. No, I have not.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the internet is telling me that the Dubliners is the original, but that can't be quite right. It's originally released for public release in 1968 by the Dubliners.
Yeah. Probably recorded in 67, released in 68. It's the version where, because there's a couple, and I can't name any of them right now, but there's a couple of things that we have in our normal nomenclature, like Ashes to Ashes, We All Fall Down. That song dates back from the Black Plague era,
Right.
So, but someone had to take that up and turn it into because it was kind of like a chant.
I think they refer to them as traditional type songs.
Yeah. So
you can't name the original author or the original songwriter.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
you did shock me. You did surprise
there you
me.
go.
We did not. I thought perhaps Disturbed would be the one.
Oh, really?
I knew it wouldn't be Whitney Houston or Dolly Parton.
But I did kind of cross you on the Whitney Houston because I just named it in another show. Of course, it was the Randy Jenkins, the Sexual Chocolate version.
Oh my gosh.
And I love the fact that you knew it right offhand. I love that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
wow.
gosh.
Well, this has been so much fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you for opening your house up to me. And it is a lovely house, by the way.
Thank you so much.
I have to tell you, when I got here, Judy had snacks for me. Not just water and 2 different types of soda, but she also had microwave rice, mac and cheese. So that's actually a first for me. So thank you.
I like to make my guests welcome. It's like my mini bar, my free mini bar. I wasn't going to charge you.
You definitely did. Well, folks, that concludes the countdown of our favorite all-time covers. I'd like to thank Judy D for taking the time to compile this list, even though I know how much you love it.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Yeah. An absolute pleasure. I've already got the research started for the next podcast that we may.
Revenge songs? Got to add that too?
Say again, please.
Revenge songs.
Oh, we got to add that too.
Got to add that too.
Revenge songs.
There you go.
No, I believe we talked about perhaps live versions of songs.
Yes.
That we think are better than the cover originals. That is going to take some whittling down.
Yeah. And I'm going to try to keep my version of. I'm going to try to keep only one Prince song on that list. Okay, so we'll see how that goes.
You do you. You do you.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you all out there for choosing to listen, or, well, if you're on YouTube, you're just watching a static picture. But thank you for being a part of Fave 5 from Fans. We're thrilled that you joined us and hope you had a fantastic time. And remember, folks, it may not be the best, it may not be the most popular, but if it's your favorite, then it's good enough for us. Thanks for joining us. Judy D, take us out.
Thank you so much, Jamie Ray. Absolutely had a blast. Can't wait for the next time.
I did too. And now, let's listen to the sound of silence. Okay, that's enough of that.